Okay, so here we are with the introduction to the Tuesday, May 19th lesson, the fall collapse of the Soviet Union. And you can see that right here that your "so that I can" says you're going to be explaining how the countries that were part of the Soviet Union got their independence. And the key word for you to keep in mind in that "so that I can" is the independence issue, because the thing that made the Soviet Union break apart was, I mean, sometimes you see it where the more people are controlled, the more they want independence, and that's kind of what happened there. Now, I want you to pay attention to the direction slide because you're going to be doing work on slides number 5 and slides number 6, and then the survey on slide number 7. Now, normally the stuff after that is optional. You know what optional means, you don't have to do it. But the requirement this time for you guys in periods 3, 4, and 5 is you're going to pick one of the optional activities to do. And the timeline is kind of confusing. Don't pay too much attention to the actual timeline itself and the lines connecting to it. Pay more attention to the actual dates and events. I mean, starting with, keep it in context. You learn the Berlin Wall was built back in 1961. Now you know the Berlin Wall falls in 1989, where people could go back and forth again, and then they eventually started taking it apart. Sometimes at the start, people, to show that their power over it, would take a hammer and chisel and just kind of knock pieces out. And you can actually go onto eBay and actually buy pieces that are supposedly from the Berlin Wall. But then you see the Warsaw Pact, the whole Soviet nuclear club, basically. 1991 broke apart. Then you see Boris Yeltsin taking power in Russia, even though the Soviet Union was still in force. Even Russia, the main part of it, was starting to get more independence. And you just see these other events. Pay attention to these strange terms, glasnost and perestroika. They are defined in some of the sources. They're going to be important for you to learn. So, moving on now, this is your first activity. Yes, a Duckster's page. Not that difficult. So you look at the terms, you go to the Duckster's page, and you simply answer them. 4 questions. Then you guys are pretty good at analyzing political cartoons, and you can tell what this is saying, but you say 3 things you see, 1 thing you think, 1 thing you wonder. Then you do the reflection survey. Do the reflection survey before you go and do the optional activity, or if you trust yourself to not forget the survey, and sometimes some of you do, go back and do it after you do the optional activity. So the optional activity is this. Number 1, how do the people feel? And you see that it describes it here. In August of 1991, the Soviet hardliners, secret police, and generals tried to arrest and kill the new Russian president, Boris Yeltsin. The people went into the streets to defend him and their new freedoms. They built barricades in the street. Some of these videos, you can see tanks actually going through and up into these videos. You can see people climbing up on top of some of the tanks. So I would take the time to watch some of this stuff. 4 of those young people were killed doing that. They believed in their freedom that much. The thing that was happening at the same time is the last Soviet leader, Mikhail Gorbachev, had invited this massive big rock concert called the Monsters of Rock to come in. It was heavy metal music, AC/DC, Pantera, and Metallica. And sometimes in some of these videos, it has little pieces of some of the members of that band talking to the people in the streets so they could learn what was going on. And this is some vocabulary that will help you understand some of the words in the song and in the videos, the interviews and stuff, because these people are Russian, so it can be hard for you to understand them possibly. But you can watch this video and answer those 2 questions. This video matches this introduction, but this introduction helps with the other 2 choices. Then this one, in the streets, watch the video, but try really hard to understand what is being said by this one. I believe it's a young woman, is translating the Russian for the people right about the 1 minute and 10-second mark. It says, what does it mean that the people of Russia, they came here to die. They want freedom. They were ready to meet their death. Look at it. She's not talking in past tense. She's talking in present tense. So it's going on at that time. And then the last thing here, this is one of the bands, Metallica, playing a song. If you ever go to a Virginia Tech home game, they might still be playing this song because they always play this song at the start of Virginia Tech home games, Enter Sandman. And they say that was between 700,000 and 1.6 million people at this concert. So you can watch it and just answer the question. You pick any one of those optional activities. It's up to you.